Hi everyone, my name's Annie. I work for an organisation called NT Shelter, who I'll tell you a little bit more about in just a moment. Over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be talking to you guys about homelessness in the Northern Territory. This is something that it is really important that all Territorians have a good understanding of. Before I get started, I'd like to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from Alice Springs, the land of the Arrernte people. I'd also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. And I'd like to thank you guys, your teachers, and your school for taking the time out of your day to watch this presentation. So, why am I speaking to you today? Why should you care about homelessness? Well, homelessness impacts a lot of young people in the Northern Territory. Homelessness is worse here than in any other state or territory in Australia. To give you an idea, the NT has 12 times the national average rate of homelessness, and young people are significantly and disproportionately represented in the NT's homeless population. In fact, young people make up almost 50% of this population. Last year, the Northern Territory had the highest rate of young people presenting a loan to services that support people who are homeless. Your friends and other people that you know might be impacted by homelessness, and you knowing more about it might actually end up helping them. So, to give you a bit of context about NT Shelter and who we are, we're a peak body. We're the peak body for affordable housing and homelessness in the Northern Territory. Being a peak body means that we represent the organisations who support people who are experiencing homelessness. In representing them, we communicate their concerns to the government, we advocate on their behalf, and we also do work to educate people about homelessness and talk about how important appropriate and affordable housing is. There are a lot of statistics that show how bad homelessness is. In the next slide, I'm going to play a quick video which highlights some of these statistics and some of the main points that you should be aware of. So, what is homelessness? It sounds obvious. It means that you don't have a home. But it's important to understand that you're also defined as homeless if you are couch surfing with friends or family because you don't have a suitable home to go to, or if you're living in a house with too many people and you don't have your own space. That's what's called overcrowding. Homelessness happens for so many reasons, but the top reasons include because people need to leave their home due to violence against them or their family members, because there's no or limited accommodation available in their community, town, or city, because they don't have enough money to pay a mortgage or rent. And it can also happen because a young person fights with their parents or their family and leaves their family home, or because parents won't accept their kid for who they are. Here are some common myths about homelessness. The first one is that people can always find somewhere to go. The reality is that in many communities, towns, and cities around the NT, there's actually not enough accommodation available. Some people also believe that homelessness is caused by bad financial management. The reality is that a lot of people who have money can and do become homeless for a variety of reasons. There's also a common myth that homelessness only happens to people who have existing issues or problems, when in reality, there are many different life pressures and events that can cause homelessness, like losing a job, having a relationship breakdown, or a health crisis. That's a big one. Here's what some young people say about homelessness. In the first quote, this young person is saying that they wish there was some security out there and that their generation could be confident that they'll be able to afford their daily needs and live in a suitable house. In the second quote, this young person is saying you could have friends that are couch surfing and you wouldn't even know. They need to be honest so that they can be safe at night and feel supported. It's really important to remember that housing is a human right. Adequate housing was recognised as part of the right to an adequate standard of living in Article 25 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Every person has the right to an adequate standard of living, which includes the right to adequate housing. So, what can you do to help? There are lots of different things you can do. You can start by going home and seeing if you have any clothes that you've outgrown and that you could donate to a service that supports people who are homeless in your community. You could also volunteer. Volunteering looks like lots of different things, but on the first week of August, Homelessness Week is going to take place Australia wide, and Homelessness Week aims to raise awareness about what homelessness looks like. So, there's likely going to be some events happening where you live, and those are events that you could get involved in. Simply being aware of homelessness is really important. And now that you know some of the facts, you know that homelessness can impact anyone. And you can share those facts with people around you, and you can keep an eye out for things that you can do to assist. It's also really important to show empathy. Just because someone is experiencing homelessness, it doesn't mean that they are less deserving of your respect and courtesy. If you need help, if someone you know needs help, you can direct them to a website called Shelter Me. The URL is shelterme.org.au, or you can just simply Google Shelter Me. This website is an online service directory for homeless and vulnerable Territorians. So essentially, it's a list of services that can assist if you or someone you know finds themselves homeless. And if you're interested in finding out more, there are many different ways that you can do that. You can get in touch with NT Shelter via one of these mediums that's listed up here on this slide. Our website is the last point there, ntshelter.org.au, and it's a one-stop shop for everything you need to know about homelessness. Thank you so much for listening. It's really appreciated. I know and understand that this content isn't the most fun thing to talk about, but it is really important. So thank you again, and I hope that you all have a really good day.